Today we're talking about Sawyer.
Their Instagram bio is the only antidepressant without side effects, which I thought was pretty funny.
Love that.
We'll look at each other and be like, you want to turn a slippery slope into a slip and slide? We know at least 50% of this group's queer.
Yes.
Planted flowers around my pain. Like, are we kidding?
I love when one verse can paint such a cool picture all on its own.
That one hits home.
And you actually got taken advantage of.
Yeah, when I heard that song, I was just like, well.
Damn.
You ready to talk about Sawyer?
Yeah. Sawyer butt.
A time or two, probably.
Hello. Welcome back to the Gab.
Episode 6, baby. 6 weeks.
Here we go.
We're on a roll.
Yeah.
So we're back with Lyrics We Love, which we're trying to do every other episode because we love music. Hopefully y'all liked the first episode on Carol Addis.
Yeah.
We got a response from her, so we couldn't be more excited about that.
Yeah, that was really exciting.
So if you've never watched an episode, or if you did not see the last episode on Carol Addis, Lyrics We Love is us basically taking a small, mid-sized artist.
We're doing I feel like we're doing some really small and then some kind of mid-level.
Right. We basically just talk about their music and specifically lyrics from their songs.
Today we're talking about Sawyer. You introduced me to Sawyer. I knew the name, I knew kind of about them, but not really. I hadn't really listened. When we first started talking, I introduced you to Carol Addis and a few other people, and Sawyer was one of the first groups that you introduced me to.
Yeah, so somebody I went to college with has a playlist called Wade's Wednesday, and he used to do one every Wednesday. I think he just does them monthly now. I'm pretty positive that he had a Sawyer song on there a couple years back, and I really liked it, so added it to my playlist. I didn't really listen to a bunch of their stuff at that moment, but then fast forward a few years later, I was going to see the Aces, and they were opening up for the Aces, and I was like, oh, I recognize this band. I hadn't still listened to a bunch of their stuff yet. Saw them live, and I was like, oh, love. They're very entertaining. They're very goofy live.
I love that.
I like that too. I like when artists, when they're playing, when they show their personality a little bit.
And
I am way more engaged to a show.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. We just saw them at, I always forget what it was called. The Late Late Show?
So I think it was called The Late Late Show with Carly Bannister at 7:30 p.m. I think that was the title, which was such a cool...
It was such a cool show.
The format, it was different. It was cool. Loved it. Obsessed.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that was the only time I've ever seen them play, and they just played a short little set. I didn't get to witness their goofy personalities in that show just because it was a couple songs. Definitely, you've showed me their socials and stuff, and
funny on TikTok, funny
that.
Opening up and between their songs and stuff on stage. So I saw them open up for the Aces, and then I saw them play Exit In as the headliner, and that was a great show. And then saw them at the Late Late Show. So I'm a big fan. I try to go see them anytime they're playing here in Nashville. So I tried doing some research. It's hard for smaller artists that they're not chronically online, which is great, I think. It's not they're posting on social medias all the time. So it was kind of hard to find info about them. But basically I'll give you a quick little rundown. So who is Sawyer? A Nashville-based indie pop band duo. Kel Taylor and Emma Harvey. Hopefully. That's what your Instagram said. I want to say I saw that they met at Belmont, which is kind of cool because Sid went to Belmont. And it's kind of hard to figure out what their age is. I feel like they're probably late 20s, maybe early 30s. So they're probably closer to my age, is picking up on Instagram posts and trying to creep and learn about them.
I don't think I was at Belmont at the same time as them.
No, that's
because
what I was
think
saying.
that I would have. Yeah,
both went there.
Yeah.
Sounds like they met at Belmont. Their Instagram bio is the only antidepressant without side effects, which I thought was pretty funny.
Love that.
It looks like their first release was in 2015, and they've been putting out stuff every other year, pretty much.
So so they've been going for close to 10 years now.
Yeah, that's pretty
really
wild.
Cool.
Yeah, they are based here in Nashville, I believe. So we're here in the same city, and so we already walked through how we met them. Yeah, or how we met them. We haven't met them. How we discovered them. Cool. So I guess let's jump into the lyrics we love of Sawyer.
Let's get into the good stuff.
I guess I'll start.
You start us off, babe.
Because I learned about them first. Okay, so let's start. I think we need to start strong with our most quoted Sawyer lyric of theirs.
Yeah.
That we use in our everyday life.
Yes.
And that is from the song Mistake. I love this one so much.
I feel so little shame at this time of night. I wanna turn a slippery slope into a slip and slide. This might be a mistake, but it feels good.
I feel so little shame at this time of night. I want to turn a slippery slope into a slip and slide. This might be a mistake, but it feels good. So the slippery slope into a slip and slide, we have turned that sexual. And so
Is it not sexual?
I mean, I think, yeah, but I just mean we'll look at each other and be like, you want to turn a slippery slope into a slip and slide? And then we'll have sex.
Yep.
We think that line's so funny, and I think it's just really creative and clever already.
It is. It is,
So
really.
we just, like, love that. I think that when I texted that one to you, I think you texted back saying that line back, and you were like, oh my god, that, like, it's just funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good. So we do be saying that line in our everyday lives to each other when we want to have sex. So
Yes,
do
we
with
do.
that what you will.
Thanks, Sawyer.
Shout out.
I picked that one out too just because I like that whole song a lot. But yeah, that was definitely the lyric that I pulled.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to talk about Halfway, and I know you have lyrics from that as well.
I have multiple, yes.
Before I talk about the lyrics that I picked out, I want to say that when you sent me this song, I was like, this is incredible. Like, because, first of all, it's just a great song. But so this song actually manages to like start in, I'm going to go nerdy for a second. This song starts in one time signature. I think it starts in 4/4. And then as it moves into like either the pre-chorus or the chorus, it actually switches to 6/8, which is so, so cool. And, like, I've tried to write a song like that before, and I didn't try hard enough. I wasn't successful. It just like didn't work. But I've always wanted to write a song like that, and they just did it so well. And it's hard to do. Like, I know most people watching this, maybe unless you're like a musician or a songwriter.
I mean, yeah, the goal is like to connect with fellow music.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a musician, but Sid is an incredible writer. So we think this is kind of a cool way for us to like talk about our favorite artists, introduce people to artists, but then hopefully, yeah, other musicians can kind of nerd out with you and also talk
I
about
just
their
had to
favorite
have this
stuff.
nerd moment and compliment that feat, because I think that's so cool if you can, make that flow. In terms of the lyrics, the first verse is what really, when you sent it to me, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this makes me feel something.
Yeah, that one is a really like special one. That song.
She came in through the back door, took off her shoes and then sat down on my bedroom floor. A journal in my dresser drawer, the whole thing like a metaphor. I didn't want to feel this way, but she planted flowers around my pain, and suddenly it's all okay, and I'm happy.
She came in through the back door,
Took off her shoes and then sat down on the bedroom floor.
a journal in my dresser drawer, the whole thing like a metaphor. Whoa, that made me think so much. And then obviously, like, I didn't want to feel this way, but she planted flowers around my pain. Yeah, that whole first
and suddenly
verse.
it's all okay, and I'm happy. Yeah, I did that one as well.
Yeah, I just think that I love when one verse can paint such a cool picture all on its own. That's definitely, that verse is like my favorite thing out of all of their music.
No, I agree. And just the sound of it, and I'm pretty sure if I've creeped properly, I think that's kind of about, I think one of them is queer and one of them's not. Obviously, we don't know, but one of them is definitely queer and in a queer relationship. And I want to say that this song is like, is her, like, kind of things that maybe that she went through. Like we said last video, everyone, like, the way that, or the reason or the meaning behind it when it was written, obviously, is one thing for who wrote it, and then us listeners get to kind of like do our own interpretation on it. But I just thought it was so cool, like, to to use like something that is very like an action like that you can picture in your head to like describe like the way someone made you feel is really cool. Like
the whole thing like a metaphor is genius. I love that so much.
So good. And like I can relate because I was married to a man, came out, and the first like Sid's made me feel this way, but my first partner, my first like queer relationship, like I like experienced that feeling as well. It's kind of like came in unexpectedly, and then like also so like calm and respectfully like took off her shoes, sat, like I don't know, like I can relate to that because like I've felt that with another human that just kind of like unexpectedly comes into your life and makes you realize things or makes you like feel something you've never felt before. And for me, like almost like confirmed that like I'm not crazy and like wanting to feel deeper in a love and in a relationship.
Totally. Yeah, I actually like a song is super, super good when you can't necessarily relate to it firsthand, but it still like makes you feel something and speaks to you. And this song, like, I wouldn't say that I can necessarily relate to that super firsthand.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like I can.
Yeah. So so I have like 3 from this song. So we're just gonna like talk about this song because I think this probably is our favorite song. Like,
I think, yeah.
And the thing
definitely
about
mine.
Sawyer is I love a ton of their lyrics, but I also love their sound. Like I
Oh,
love
yeah.
the upbeatness of a lot of the songs in here. They're really fun, and there's always like really silly, or there's a lot of times like silly lines. Like there's one that's like making a damn s'more. It's like literally a line of one of their songs. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's fun. It's like well written. And
It's clever.
And it's super clever and just like fun as fuck. And it's like, oh, I love it when someone can do all of that. It's just so like planted flowers around my pain. Like, are we kidding? That's incredible. I'm like,
That line
obsessed with
alone
that.
I could relate to. It was like,
Yeah.
you came into my life unexpectedly, and like we talked about this in our last episode. Like,
Yeah.
like all this shit was just like it was like a shit storm around me, and I was like, what is happening? And I was like, not feeling great. And then you just came in, and you were like, seeds,
Oh, baby.
seeds into the ground.
Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I got to experience that with my first queer relationship for the first time, but then, yeah, with Sid kind of coming in and then once again confirming, like, yeah, like, I'm not crazy in that. Me wanting, like, a deeper, more connected relationship is not crazy, and you gave me that, baby. And it's sweet. And then, okay, so my last one from this song, yeah, love this song. Love the words in here. One thing that I can relate to hard from getting out of my marriage, the line,
But we keep on going 'cause we're too afraid of what'll change. But I love you too much to stay loving you halfway.
because we're too afraid of what will change, but I love you too much to stay loving you halfway.
Yeah, that is so cool.
I thank God for artists like Carol Addis, like that, like all the artists that we're gonna talk about. Like, not everybody can put words to feelings, so it's so cool that we have like insane musicians that can put these words to feelings. 'Cause yeah, it's like I got out of my marriage. I loved him still, like in a way. Like I wasn't in love with him, but I love him and will always love him.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like I can't because I love you. Like obviously there was queer stuff, but it's like I love you, but like yeah, loving you halfway. Like I can't be partially loved. It's not fair to either one of us for me to just like love you this way.
Yeah.
Like you need to go be happy and fully fulfilled. I need to be happy and fully fulfilled. Like I can't stay in this. So yeah, when I heard that song I was just like, well,
Damn. Okay.
you can take the next one because I just
Okay.
took that one and ran with it.
The next one I pulled from was Support Group.
I don't have one for this one, but I do love this song. It's
Okay.
very clever.
I love it so much because
I know why you love it.
well, yeah, it's such a good idea, and I feel like it's a joke that gets made a lot when you, I want to be careful with my words. If you have the opportunity to connect with other people who have been hurt by the same person, and it's not even like, it's literally what they're saying, it's support group. It's not sitting around talking shit. It's literally like, oh my God, somebody understands like how this person made me feel. Like,
yeah, it's not just
which
me.
is really cool. But I really like the first verse specifically. Obviously the chorus, first verse.
I was so quiet, gassing up your ego just to light it. You lit like kerosene, oh, I stood by it, keeping my hands warm, making a damn s'more.
I was so quiet, gassing up your ego just to light it. You lit like kerosene and I stood by it, keeping my hands warm and making a damn s'more. Wow.
How do you get that in a song? Like, that's so funny. I love it so much.
I love that because it's just a really good way to say, like, kind of the almost like shame that you feel when you realize, like, you gave this person exactly what they wanted and you just, like, stood there and were their cheerleader and gassed them up, and then they didn't care about you. I don't know.
Literally. I'm about to scroll down, but another line in that song, isn't there one where it was like, thought there was something wrong with me, bet you'd agree? Isn't
Yeah.
that the song?
Oh yeah, I think that was the
Or lyric?
second verse.
Thought there was something wrong with me. I bet you'd agree. I could start a support group for all of the girls who know they shouldn't have loved you. Sit in a circle to recover from your moods. Oh God, I was so used. You did it to her and to her and to her too. I could start a support group.
And that I'm glad you pointed that out because that's such a
Thought there was something wrong with me. I bet you'd agree. Like, oh my God.
yeah. Yeah, that one.
Like,
That one hits home.
that one.
But no, I love this song, and I love that they made it like a fun, upbeat song as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't obviously found myself in the same position as you, but to witness you connect with people, and it makes you feel less crazy. Like, okay, this isn't a me thing. Like, this is a them thing.
Well, and it's great to connect with people who also feel like this whole time I've thought it was me and that I was crazy, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, like you're just a human being and you actually got taken advantage of.
God, yeah. I didn't pull from that one because I can't hardcore relate, but I do love that song. It's also catchy as fuck, so.
Yeah. What's next for you, babe?
Taste. Love this song as well. But just, I think at the end of the last episode, I was like, the way y'all be saying, like, the way artists can say something, like, in just a clever way. So this one is
Something about the consonants, the way they're falling out your lips.
something about the consonants, the way they're falling out your lips. Like, just a way to literally, like, the way that you talk.
Yeah.
Like, to say that. I just love it. I think it's so cool. And yeah, and I also just love that song, so I wanted to pick one from that just so that we could play a little snippet from that one.
I think we both, did you pull? Okay, you did pull from this one too. The next one I pulled from was Unhealthy. I really love this song because it kind of like put words to, I love when you find a song that it's like a concept that you wouldn't have thought to put in a song and you haven't heard a song about before. And personally, I hadn't heard one that was quite like this. The lyric that I pulled was,
Sometimes I think it'd be better if you and I weren't together. You could find somebody else, and I could finally find myself.
sometimes I think it'd be better if you and I weren't together. You could find someone else and I could finally find myself. And I really love that because it just put words to like the feeling that I always had in my previous relationships, not because of like the people that I was with so much, but because like I, up until the last couple years, like I struggled so hard with like having a sense of self, and that sense of self would become like the people that I loved almost.
Yeah.
And like not them, but like my investment in them, I guess, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's like kind of that idea of there's nothing wrong with this person. It's just like I can't love anyone until I have, I guess, love for myself or a sense of myself. And I just really like that because I think it's a lot more common than maybe a lot of us realize. Like maybe some people feel alone in that, but I think it's really common, especially when you're super young and you're just like, maybe you really do love somebody. Like I know for me, like in my past relationships, like I wasn't faking it. I just like didn't know how to, I just didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't know myself. So yeah.
I didn't pull this because I could relate to it personally, but I do feel like it's something maybe that you've slightly expressed to me. And it's,
Is it fun to pretend I'm fun? Is it fun being my someone? 'Cause I think too much and it's keeping me up.
is it fun to pretend I'm fun? Is it fun being my someone? Because I think too much and it's keeping me up. Like, there's been a lot of times in our relationship, I feel like, where you're quite literally like, why are you with me? Because you feel because you feel so hard. And there's also just been a lot of stuff in your life that's happened that you've had to work through, like emotionally and like mentally and stuff. And
Yeah.
so I just think that it's so cool that they put that in the song. And this one's very much like, the song is calling themselves out. It's not calling somebody else out. It's like, I think I'm unhealthy. And so I just thought that was a really interesting line.
But yeah, I like that because there were so many times in 2023 when I was like, I don't understand why you want to be with me. I don't understand why you want to deal with this.
Yeah.
Like I'm
When I hear that line, it does kind of take me to those moments when you've been feeling down and being like, yeah, why do you want to be a part of this? Like,
sometimes I do feel like I like take the fun out of things, or like I know sometimes I'll be like half joking but half serious. I'll be like, I ruin everything.
yeah, you do. not you do ruin everything, but you do be saying that.
No, I ruin things sometimes.
You literally will be like, sorry, I ruined insert thing here. My baby's dramatic. And we love her for that.
If I'm one thing, it's a little dramatic sometimes.
Yeah, but we love her dramatics. She keeps things exciting around
it's
here.
Funny.
Okay, this is another one that I can't necessarily relate to, but I think it's I thought it was a cool song, like, concept, because I feel like a lot of people can relate. And I think even in our last episode, we talked about how it complicates things if maybe the friends don't like the partner. Mm-hmm. It can add pressure to a relationship. So the song is The Way My Friends Feel About You.
I wish I could feel about you the way that my friends feel about you. I wish that I wanted it to end as much as my friends do.
I wish I could feel about you the way that my friends feel about you. I wish that I want it to end as much as my friends do. It's just so funny, and I think that there's probably a ton of people that can either relate to that, or even there's probably a ton of people who know someone in their life where they're like, oh my god, yes.
My
like,
hair is doing weird ass things.
That's okay.
When I play my one song, I kind of introduce it as like, you know, that person that you keep like wanting to make things work with, and all your friends are like, for the love of God, stop. No.
Have some self-respect.
Yeah. I can definitely relate to this one, just because it's like, it is so hard, like, to shift your view of someone. But it's funny because if the roles are reversed and somebody is making your friend feel crappy, it's so easy to be like, what a loser. So yeah, really cool concept.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. And then the other line that I thought was just like a very clever line.
This has to be like my third intervention, shooting bullet points of what I deserve.
This has to be like my third intervention, shooting bullet points of what I deserve. Like shooting bullet point. I just love it when songs, like, when you're listening closely and you're like, oh damn, that was clever as fuck.
Yeah.
I love songs like that, to
That
where
is
like
really cool.
if you listen closely, it just, people are very creative and clever with their words. So that's why I pointed that one. I thought it was fun, and that's a very fun song.
It is.
Okay, do you have any more?
That is all that
That's what you have. Okay, so then
that's all that I wrote down.
I just have one more. And this one, I don't even know if you've listened to this song, baby. It's called Older Now. Did you listen to it?
No, I have listened to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't pick this one. But the...
I'm older now. Who you loved is just the old her now.
I'm older now. Who you loved is just the old her now.
I feel like they do a lot of that, which I love. Like a really clever play on, like they're almost saying the same thing, but it's a little bit different and it's a different meaning.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
old her. Yeah.
I see them do that a couple times in their writing, and I love that.
It's so good.
I love that.
It's so, yeah, I love it too. Just, once again, like I just said, it's cool to like listen closely to words, because we don't really be listening to country music, but we were like walking through Walmart the other day, and we were just kind of talking about how like mainstream country is like so, this is gonna sound so bad, it's so dumbed down and so like it's simple. It's like you know exactly what's being said. It's very like to the point, but like
this isn't meant to be insulting to anybody, but it is geared towards like the people that they know are listening and what they're looking to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think most people listening to country radio aren't necessarily looking for like a super clever, in-depth.
Yeah.
Not that there aren't a lot of country songs that
Yeah,
are super clever. There are
for sure.
Like,
but for the
kind
most
of in a
part,
different, I would say in like a different way, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, so just like the contrast of like Sawyer's a great example of a duo that like you want to listen closely to what's being said to try to like understand or be like, oh, that was clever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very creative stuff to me. We didn't include in the beginning, but they're getting, okay, so like 50K monthly listeners. Like Carol Addis, I'm surprised that they haven't popped off even more yet.
Yeah.
Because of how fun that their music is and like creative the lyrics are, and not that they aren't getting a ton of plays and haven't popped off in their own way. I guess I'm just surprised that number isn't higher.
I'm sure it will be soon.
I'm excited because the last thing they released was
I feel like sometimes
in April. I hope that there's some new. Is there some new stuff coming, Sawyer? If you happen to be watching,
ladies,
what do we
what
got?
are we working on?
Ladies, what do we got in the pipeline?
Yeah, overall, really glad that you introduced me to their music.
Same,
because I love it, and next time I wonder when they're playing, because I want to see them again.
I want you to see them live, like in a
when
when they're
it's
headlining.
like their show. Yeah.
Yep. So hopefully that is happening soon, and we'll be in the audience. So
Heck yeah, we will.
we love supporting our local artists, but also our local queer artists. We know at least 50% of this group is queer,
Yes,
and we love that.
indeed.
Well,
Well,
any last thoughts?
just want to thank Sawyer for making great tunes.
I mean, as per usual, thank you for your words.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your words. I can't
Yeah.
wait to hear what's next. And yeah.
Oh.
No, sorry. There was like a little fuzz. You know when you can just like see things in the air, like little fuzzies?
You said, yeah.
Well,
Bye-bye.
gotta go. Silly. Thank you for watching. We will see you next episode where we're not talking about lyrics, but the episode after that we'll be talking about lyrics.
Sure will.
See you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.